What's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, the Tutorial Boss Guapo. Joining me, and I'm not even going to throw something out there. It's the man, Rick Elzy. Rick, what's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing? It's good to be
I'm
here.
doing good, man. It's been a day.
A day, yes.
Well,
Definitely a day.
I do want to do our usual start and go ahead and knock our thank yous out of the way. I want to say thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for our intro outro music. Track's called Head Rush, album's called Monsters, and they got some cool stuff going on. They're working on tracks for their second album, so check that out at labor12.com. That's laborxii.com. Thanks to Joe and American Legacy for the Not Your Average merch. We've got some cool stuff coming soon, so be checking in for that. Thank you to JRebs 3D Printing. You see this piece of awesomeness right here? That's a JRebs 3D Printing original for us. If you've got a logo you'd like to get put into a light box like this one here, then check him out at jrebs3dprinting.com. Thank you to heckyeahradio.com. If you happen to miss one of our shows, and if you do, shame. If I had a bell, I would ring it. Shame. But if you do happen to miss one of the shows, you can go to heckyeahradio.com, click on the Not Your Average Mark button, and listen to the audio podcast. Thank you to Blind Ambition Studios for all our awesome graphics, WrestlingSociety.com for including us in their podcast room, and a big thanks to the guy that makes everything happen, the one, the only, the guy, Patrick. I know we drive you crazy with it. Thank you for everything you do, especially our website, NotYourAverageMark.com. If you haven't checked it out yet, go do so immediately after the show. Don't do it now because you're watching the podcast. So you can't go now, but after the show, go to NotYourAverageMark.com. You can catch bios for all of us. You can see our merch. You can see what our calendar, what we're going to be doing, all sorts of good stuff on there. So make sure you go check it out. And now we make our way to the week in review. And it's been a pretty good week as far as wrestling goes. We got Mikey in the chat saying, yeah. Hearing noises behind me.
Who's your co-host? There's an empty chair next to you. You have John Cena in there with you?
I do. John Cena joining me live here on the podcast. Wait a minute. I just heard my voice. Why am I hearing my voice? Hold on. Oh, it's a Mikey. In direct defiance of Squared Circle Pro Women's Champion Nikki Chase. I do believe she made it a point to say we are going to be on time.
Well, you know what? I got caught in traffic.
Oh, well, I guess we'll let that one go. What's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks.
We've already been through the thank yous, and we're going to get into our main roster moments. Let's start with SmackDown. I liked the opening of SmackDown for one reason. It was Cody Rhodes putting over Kevin Owens. Like it's something you don't see enough of, in my opinion. He called him a once-in-a-lifetime talent, which is absolutely correct, in my opinion anyway. So I feel like it was a strong way to open the show. What do you guys think?
Cody is always good on the mic.
True.
Who was a once-in-a-lifetime talent?
Kevin Owens.
Okay.
I'm sensing some disagreement there.
I don't know how I feel about the Cody Kevin stuff right now. I truly believe that this story 100% requires KO to find a way to win this ladder match. And the closer we get, the more that we do, the more I feel like they're not going to do that. And that, I believe, is a mistake. And I'll tell you why. Cody has been an anomaly, much like Hogan was for a while, where the babyface has retained a reaction for a period of time with the title without the fans turning on him. The longer Cody has the belt, the less chance that's going to happen.
Very
And I
true.
think that their best option to keep Cody babyface, and let's be honest, he is a cash cow. The best option to keep him babyface is to have him lose this title, go into whatever feud they need him to do at Mania, come back out, start the chase, and get it back. But I don't think they're going to do that because I think it's too attractive for him to face Cena, which I think is complete and utter madness, considering what Cena could do, what KO needs to be doing. I don't know. So anytime Cody and KO are on camera together, I just feel like I'm being led down the primrose path, and it's. I may feel differently after Saturday, but right now I don't feel that way.
I get that. And here's my thing with KO. KO is the perfect troll. And him, each brand has their perfect troll. Drew is the one on Raw and KO is on SmackDown. They're the perfect trolls. We've got Eska at 1981 in the chat. First off, Alex, welcome to the show, brother. Glad you're here. KO reminds me of the Tasmanian Devil from the Warner Brothers cartoons. I get that. I do.
I can see it. I really can. Just going around destroying all kinds of things and not really knowing what the hell he's doing.
Yeah. I think we do have to get KO with the belt, and I think everybody's first thought is going to be KO and Cody going back and forth at each other, and I don't think it is. I think we get KO and Jimmy, and Jimmy wins a title before his brother does, and that does a whole thing. But we'll get into that later.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I guess I'm not watching the same show you guys are watching because I'm not seeing any of that.
Oh no?
No, I see the expectation of Sami Zayn to help Kevin Owens, and whenever Sami Zayn does not help Kevin Owens, then it starts the rift between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Therefore, we get that WrestleMania situation with those two.
Oh, that's happening. There's no question about that.
And then Cody sneaks by, gets through Kevin Owens, and then awaits what's going to happen from the winner of the Royal Rumble.
Okay. I don't know. There's a lot of different directions this could go, and I'm here for it. Like, I'm waiting to see this ladder match.
The good part about WWE right now is, yes, we can see all kinds of little paths that are going, but they're throwing curveballs.
Oh yeah.
Triple H is on the mound, and we don't know what he's going to be throwing at us next.
Agreed. One thing we do get thrown at us is the Motor City Machine Guns, and I cannot stress enough how much I am enjoying watching the Motor City Machine Guns. I did not see a whole lot of them before they came to the main roster. Didn't have the opportunity, and kicking myself for it because they are absolutely great. And I say that because they bring out the best in their opponents. Doesn't matter who it is. Their opponents are going to be elevated by being in the ring with the Motor City Machine Guns.
They are easily the best team in TNA Impact history.
I go with that.
Now, there was other good ones. Beer Money was a good one. America's Most Wanted early on was great. When the Hardys have been there, they've been great. When Team 3D was there, they were fine. But Motor City Machine Guns was a TNA exclusive built, homegrown team, and they are awesome. They're awesome.
They are.
And they couldn't be in a better feud right now than with DIY, because those matches are just off the page. And this 2 out of 3 falls coming up should just tear the house down.
No question. It's going to be great. And I, for one, am waiting for it. I will say this. When Sabin hit the ring post in their match Friday night, I've got to give it to him for sale because I legit thought he was hurt. I really did. Because that was ugly. Like, way ugly.
No, he took that post like a champ.
Yeah.
Because He did get a little color from the LED board scratching his chest there, but I mean, all in all, it was good, and the people that I was watching with were like, "Why aren't they stopping the match? Oh my God, he's hurt."
We don't do that here.
Obviously, we don't stop the match. We might get into that later.
I will say, you know, I talked about the Motor City Machine Guns. I do have to say for Pretty Deadly, I think they found their new finisher. I really do. That bulldog thing that they did, that was fire. I like that a lot. That needs to be how they finish matches moving forward. So, Trips, if you're listening, and of course, Trips is listening, yeah, that needs to happen. Speaking of things that need to happen, Kevin Owens versus Matthew McConaughey. Let's make that happen at some point, please.
Maybe McConaughey needs to have a representative, but I don't necessarily think no.
I could 100%. I could 100% see him being the special guest referee of KO Sammy at Mania.
You know what?
All right.
See, I knew it was coming. I didn't know which one of you were going to do it, but I knew it was coming. If he had a representative, there's one person that Matthew McConaughey is closest to, and he don't wrestle no more. So, and that's Taker. I don't know if you guys saw some of the behind the scenes stuff, but Taker actually presented him with a Texas Longhorns belt.
That's pretty cool.
I thought so. I like the fact that they're not playing people as stupid. Because they did that. Let's face it, they did that for a while.
For a while?
What I mean by that is you got Carmelo Hayes. And he's talking to Nick Aldis, and he says, my match got canceled. I'm pissed off. I don't like it. He says, you know what? I'll give you a match with somebody we just acquired from Raw that's now on SmackDown. And Carmelo Hayes is like, I'm going to know who it is before I say yes. Smart.
Yeah.
Where has that been? I'm just saying. So I did like the fact they did that. And the fact that it was Damian Priest, I'm all about it. I was kind of surprised to see the move to SmackDown for Priest, but I feel like it's a good move.
Yeah, it's going to freshen him up. It gets him away from all of the Dominic crap that has been going on, all the Judgment Day stuff. Get him completely away from all of that. And then now we've got fresh opponents. Mm-hmm. We've got fresh stories that we can tell with him. Everything can be really good.
The other thing,
I agree. I was very happy to see him come to SmackDown. He's going to freshen up the upper level. He is also a guy that's very easy to slide into main event matches. He's got a lot of upside, so it's a good move putting him on SmackDown.
I agree. I've got to say one thing WWE is getting just great at is their video packages. That video package for Strowman and Jacob Fatu, good stuff.
Oh yeah, that was.
WWE has always been known for their video packages and their vignettes. The things that they put together, the mini movies. I mean, Vince said it himself in Beyond the Mat. We make movies, and that's what they've always done. WWE has never had a counterpart, much less an equal, in the vein of putting together packages to bring people up to speed.
So let me ask you this, because I know both of you have been watching for years upon years. Can you give me a better video package than Rock and Stone Cold? I believe it was Limp Bizkit's My Way or the Highway that played during it. And the whole thing was just, that to me is one of the best hype videos ever.
It was good, but it's not my favorite. My favorite video package that they ever did was the video package that told the story of the previous 2 months prior to leading into Royal Rumble 2000 for Cactus Jack versus Triple H. That
Yeah.
package, watching the transfer from Mankind to Cactus Jack and using the music from Excalibur, Carmina Burana as the music, just watching the transition from the SmackDown before where he's on the outside of the ring and he's bloodied and he does the bang bang and then transitioning into the next night. I mean, that stuff to build that match, I don't know that I've ever seen a video package better than that one.
I will give you that. I had forgotten about that one, but that was on that epic level. Like
25 years later, and that still sticks with me.
it's the same way for me for the Rock and Stone Cold one.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Like I remember that. So they've always been good at it, and that hasn't stopped because the one for Strowman and Fatu was just off the charts. I loved it.
It was. It really was.
Our 6-woman tag. We had a 6-woman tag. We had what? Liv, Raquel, and Candice LeRae.
Yeah, I think so. No, it was Nia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Nia, Liv, and Raquel versus Rhea, Bianca, and Naomi.
Right. Okay. So this was a good match. Like I like how they're pushing the different feuds going into Rumble with this, but zero urgency in this match, like none, and that I didn't like. Because it followed the standard. Everyone's on offense for a little while, everyone's on defense for a little while, and then everyone sells to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what happens when you're trying to get everybody over in the same match, and you don't want anybody to look bad.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. And speaking of not,
it doesn't always work. Look, 50-50 booking doesn't always work, but it's something that you employ when you don't want anyone to have an advantage. And I think going into the Rumble, what they want, it's like y'all were talking earlier, they keep throwing curveballs and setting up potential matches that we don't know if we're going to get or not. I think headed into Rumble, they want everybody up and they don't want anybody down.
I can get that. You know how it is. You watch, and as soon as they fall into that trope, it's like, man.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
One thing I did like getting to see is Apollo Crews finally take a W against a good opponent. Ciampa's the real deal. If you don't believe me, just watch the video of that running knee outside the ring. And to see Apollo Crews get one on him, I'm happy because I like Apollo Crews. Like he's always been good.
I've been watching with a few casual fans here lately, and one of the things they were asking me about was, who is this guy? Who's Apollo Crews? And I was like, he is somebody that they have that it's believable if he gets a win, but 9 times out of 10 he's not going to.
True.
So whenever he did win, I said, there's that one time.
Yep. And against Ciampa. I mean, that was awesome for me. I enjoyed that.
Gargano.
No, it was Ciampa. No, it was Gargano. He beat Gargano. Ciampa did the thing outside the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I think WWE missed the boat on Apollo Crews when they had him doing the Nigerian gimmick, but they didn't revert him to his indie name of Uhaa Nation. Because when he was doing the Nigerian stuff, if he had reverted to Uhaa Nation instead of keeping Apollo Crews, it would have made that character resonate so much more. And I think he would have gotten over and probably still be doing that gimmick.
The problem I would have with that gimmick and what I could see being a problem for the WWE is if your name is Uhaa Nation, then the crowd's going to chant what? Ooh-ha, ooh-ha. And what does Roman Reigns say right before his Superman punch?
Well, It sounds the same, but it's not the same.
True.
But I understand why. I mean, your point is valid. It does sound the same, but you put him on different rosters and you don't have a problem with it.
Makes for a cool match later on.
But why would they, he was so good at being a heel? Why would you even take that away from him? The heel Apollo Crews doing the Nigerian gimmick with all of the things that they had going for that, he could still be one of the top heels.
Fair. Very fair.
So nobody would be wanting to chant anything at him except go away.
So we had Tama Tonga and LA Knight. Yeah. Absolutely stellar match. Enjoyed that one a lot. And the thing I like about Tama Tonga right now is every time he gets in the ring, he's just a little bit more confident and it shows in the way he does his moves. Yeah. I still can't with that. But it does. It shows every time he gets in the ring, he's more and more confident. And that confidence going into the ring with somebody like LA Knight, it makes for a great match.
Indeed.
Yes, it does.
That match, the ending, Jacob Fatu, because of course Jacob Fatu, he's got to destroy somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, you don't want anybody up or down.
True. Carmelo Hayes and Damian Priest, we kind of touched on this earlier. Good match. Like, it's outside the usual feuds that you see, and it gives a good, you may not consider Priest that guy, but it gives a good rub to Melo. Like, I get it, Melo's him, but you get a good rub on him from Priest. And I'll say this, when he hit the choke slam, Carmelo Hayes sells that better than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
have you noticed that recently the reactions that Carmelo Hayes gets are getting more and more interactive with the crowd the more he loses?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wonder why that is. Maybe because you don't have to win all the time to actually get over.
Bingo.
Maybe because you can actually lose a match and still come out better on the other end. Maybe because the people that are booking the show actually know what they're doing, unlike the idiots online that complain about it.
Mm-hmm. I believe it was you
Just
said
saying.
something out today that said one of the rules for wrestling is don't be mad if you lose, just lose in the best way possible.
Exactly. That's the job of a booker. The job of a booker is to take two people, no matter if they're over or not, and put them into a match, and whatever outcome you have, you make sure that they both look better coming out. And if you can't do that, maybe you shouldn't be booking.
No, that's fair. That's it don't get no more true than that.
He's not wrong. But that's one thing that is one thing that the indies is severely missing right now, is the fact that they don't get the fact that you can get over without going over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, something happened in SmackDown that, again, is something you don't see all the time. And I like that they're using people to do stuff like this. So you had this great match between Damian Priest and Carmelo Hayes. And so they're done. They're gone until Jimmy comes out, because, when KO was in the ring earlier, Jimmy came out to shut him up. So it sets up the match. Jimmy comes out, and the camera angle on it was great to see Carmelo Hayes coming up behind him to attack him. He had a match and then came back out to do something else. What? Like, it's something you don't get to see enough of, and I thought it's cool that they allowed it to happen. It was kind of crazy seeing Jimmy get jumped and then still make his way down down to the ring ready for a match. But can we talk for just a second about that? I talked about KO being a troll. KO in a Naomi shirt.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Kevin Owens'
that
shirt
was
game
an
right now
interesting
is
and
nut-
fun thing to. Go ahead, Ray.
Kevin Owens' shirt game is second to none right now.
That's
Oh.
true.
Absolutely. But getting to explain a lot of this stuff to these casuals is absolutely fantastic because they're like, why is he wearing that shirt?
Because that's Jimmy's bottom.
And they're like, really?
Yeah.
And it is that. And it is the fact that, for people like us that watch all the time, it's like, hey, I see what you did there. For the casuals, it's like, okay, why? It does leave them. Why is he wearing that shirt? So now they're learning more. And it's on purpose. It's absolutely intentional. But it's a great move. I like it. I like it a lot.
Good stuff. It's really good stuff.
I really enjoyed that match, and having Carmelo do what he did to Jimmy,
Mhm.
it put him at the disadvantage to having a little bit of peril beforehand. So it kind of gave that thought in the back of your head: how much damage did this do?
Would he have won otherwise?
Yes.
Yeah. So and KO did get the win in this one, but it was a good back and forth match. Even with the attack before the match, it was good back and forth. Like I thought it was good. It was a good main event. It wasn't like right home to mom about it, but it was a good match.
Well, obviously the main story of the whole thing was every single time Kevin Owens is getting an opportunity to try to put the package pile driver on somebody, Cody is foiling that.
I'm still trying to get past he tried to do the package pile driver to Shawn Michaels. Nobody does that to Shawn Michaels.
The views of Mike Caldwell about Shawn Michaels will stay with Mike Caldwell.
It's probably a good idea.
I think that was a mistake. I think that was a mistake. Sean should have taken it. They should have hit Sean with it.
Sean is 342 years old. You can't put him in a package pile driver.
If Mae Young can take a Dudley power bomb off the stage down through tables, I'm pretty sure Shawn Michaels can take a package pile driver.
Shawn Michaels equals John Smith.
Hey, calm down, sir.
See, that's the thing. I don't want to hear anybody ever make an argument at all about, oh, I'm too old to do this, until somebody outlives Mae Young and takes the punishment she took at 80. I don't even want to hear it.
And I can't. I want to argue that, but I can't. I just can't. You're absolutely right.
Not only did she take multiple power bombs from the Dudleys, not only did she take tables, not only did she hit by a guitar, she gave birth to a hand.
Oh, see, I knew you were going to go there.
The woman is a MVP if there ever was one.
Facts.
The hand is now grown into a whole arm.
And if we ever get another gimmick battle royal and we don't get the hand in the battle royal, I will be pissed.
If we have another gimmick battle royal, it'll be too soon.
They need to cast the hand alongside R-Truth in Pretty Deadly the Musical.
I can't with you, Rick.
That's good stuff. Okay, let's get away from gimmick battle royals. Let's get into Raw. The opening was good. I liked the back and forth there. Seth comes out, says 2025 has not had a good start for me. But he talks about he's going to go in and he's going to win the Royal Rumble, and then he might go against Cody. He might go against Gunther. He may take either one of them. He don't know yet. And of course, we get everybody's favorite Logan Paul.
I was so happy. I was so happy to see Logan Paul in that moment. It was so good. Did you notice that Seth like mouthed, who's that? Whose music is that?
You didn't know the music? Yeah. Yeah, that was
It
great.
was so great. It was so great.
I think my favorite part of the interaction there between Seth Gunther and Logan Paul was, Gunther told Seth, "I hope you win." And so we can go one-on-one. And then after Logan Paul said his piece, he's like, "I changed my mind. I want him to win." That was good stuff.
Logan, props, because everybody else is just stopping whenever the boos start. And they were vocal, like really, really bad vocal. And Logan Paul just carrying on with this promo. The people live couldn't hear a word. We could.
If they really want to capitalize on some serious heat, team up Logan Paul and Dominic Mysterio and put the tag belt.
Good Lord. They'll need one of those decibel meters that they do on the football games to chart the boos.
Dude, I'm telling you, it'll be inconceivable how loud the boos will be.
Let's have Sami Zayn in the Royal Rumble wrestling with Dominic, and then Logan Paul comes out, and have both of them double team Sami Zayn, and let's get it going.
Don't put stuff like that in the universe.
It's out there. It's out there because I put it out there. By God.
That's awesome. I'm all about it.
We need to unpack this tag team championship match.
Mm-hmm.
You had the War Raiders, and since we're talking about him, Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough. This was a damn good match. I don't say that very often when McDonough and Dirty Dom are out there, but this was a damn good match. Now, JD McDonough with a beautiful moonsault cracks the back of that massive skull of his on the back of on the corner of the announce table. You can't convince me that for at least 45 seconds to a minute and a half, he wasn't out cold laying on the floor.
He took no damage to the neck or the head.
It's JD McDonough.
It was because of the massive size of his cranium and the impact to the table. It was the shock wave that sent through his body that broke 2 ribs and punctured his lung.
Not only did he take that shot to the head on the announce table, came down hard on it, but then he took this reverse GTS move with a knee to the back of his head. Still no damage. I am convinced that the only things left after nuclear Armageddon are going to be roaches and JD McDonough's head.
Well,
and the headbutt that he gave after the fact.
Yes.
But you're never going to convince me that the weight of his head is not what broke ribs and punctured his lung, because I've known people who've sneezed and thrown their back out. So
that's fair. I do know some people who've done that.
I think we all know that same person.
We might.
Sometimes he wears pants.
Sometimes. All joking aside.
Wow.
All joking aside, though, best wishes to JD McDonough for a quick recovery, because it can't be, whether it was caused by his head or anything else, it can't be comfortable to break ribs and puncture a lung. So
no.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go out on a limb here. Okay, yes. He ended up catching a second wind. He ended up going out there and wrestling his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you right now, this is why we have people that are in positions that they are, because they decided after they got hurt they were going to continue to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
So, fact of the matter is, yes, he went out there and he did the best of his ability. But honestly, if he felt that and it, they should have gone ahead and stopped the match.
We don't do that here. We've already discussed that. I agree to an extent there that they should have potentially stopped the match, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not 100% sure where he broke his ribs. Like at what point did his ribs break? Because if it was after he hit his head on the announce table, that was early on in the match, and yes, they should have. If he was feeling the fact that he broke ribs and couldn't breathe right, yes, they should have stopped it there. But if it wasn't till right there at the end of the match, then
he was being very gingerly whenever the War Raiders were picking him up for that double team deal, and he ended up he reversed out of it.
That's right, he did move around out of that one.
Dominic's the one that took that.
Yeah. J-Reb in the chat saying people love to hate something. The more they can boo, the better the ratings. That's not wrong.
No.
We had Rey Mysterio and Xavier Woods. The big story, I mean, it was a good match. You can't put those two in the ring and it not be a good match. But the big story for me was first, Xavier Woods' family is not there at ringside. And when they do show up, New Day sucks merch.
That was great. Capitalize on it.
That's good stuff. I absolutely love that both of their families are just beside themselves with anger at what they did to Big E. I love that they're backstage and Ludwig Kaiser and Pete Dunne won't talk to them.
Like, what do you got to do for Dunne to not talk to you?
They are absolute pariahs. They are absolute pariahs. I think it's amazing.
It is. It's great.
They've made me care. They've made me care about a team that I haven't cared about since day one.
And it's kind of cool. For the younger crowd out there, it was pointed out to me by my eldest that Xavier Woods has a new tattoo. Big M on his chest. And apparently, I think it's Dragon Ball Z. There's that represents somebody that was good and then turned bad. So and Kofi wears the same necklace. So that was pointed out to me. For those of you that are anime fans like Dragon Ball Z, you know what I'm talking about. I hope. I'm not a big Dragon Ball Z guy, so I don't. Majin Buu or something like that.
Wow.
I barely know what it is, and I'm kind of sad that I do. So,
but it's a very Kofi and Xavier thing. I don't know if any of you watch outside of WWE any of the content. Like I think it's Xavier's show, but Kofi's on there a lot too. But they do Up Up Down Down, which is gaming and anime, and so it's not surprising. It's a very New Day thing. It's a very Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston thing to incorporate something Dragon Ball Z into their storyline. So I just think that's kind of cool. And it was pointed out to me earlier.
I was already out of high school when Power Rangers and Dragon Ball Z became a thing. So I'm lost on it.
I get that.
I'm beyond lost as well. So
the boys are into it. I never really got into it, but it is cool that they're kind of incorporating that into it. So, of course,
reach your demographic. If that's what your demographic is, reach it.
Absolutely. With Mysterio being out there, of course, the LWO came out with him, and we find out that Zelina Vega moving to SmackDown. This was her last Raw.
Yeah, and remember, The Miz was trying to talk to Andrade because he was trying to get somebody because they told him he needed to find friends fast. So Andrade says, "You're right. I need to go find somebody."
It's pretty good Andrade, by the way.
And Zelina just happens to be moving to SmackDown.
And the history there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I am entirely confused by this because the larger picture is that if Aleister Black is coming back, they don't separate couples anymore. So that means if he's coming back, they're going to be on SmackDown. I was convinced that they moved the Wyatts to SmackDown because they wanted to keep them away from Aleister Black because of the similarities and the spookiness. But if they're going to put Aleister Black on SmackDown, then I have absolutely no idea why the Wyatts are there.
he has made a very valid point. Say that a little louder.
Maybe he's number 6.
That, I mean, okay, but man, I'm gonna need some context for that one.
Well, I mean, they are doing a good job of telling stories right now.
That's
and I can
true.
see something
That's true.
where you've got Andrade and Zelina, and then of course Charlotte's coming back. So then it's like, hey, why are you here? Get away from my man, cat fight kind of thing. And then Aleister shows up, and now you got a whole thing. Like,
I mean, that's absolutely possible. That's absolutely possible.
It's absolutely possible, but it's also absolutely cringeworthy.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, it all like you said about the other thing. It's all going to depend on the story that they tell, and thus far, right now, I don't think they've given us any reason to immediately crap on any idea because we need to see what the execution is.
Very fair.
We could be sitting here in 6 months going, did you see that?
Exactly. And that's what I love about it. So we had a women's tag match for Liv and Raquel going up against Naomi and Bianca. And if Liv and Raquel win, then of course that moves them up the ladder for a possible championship match later on. They did in fact win that match because here comes Dirty Dom, just inserting himself into everybody's business.
That's what he does best.
Well, he found
He's trying to get back on the good side.
well, he got on the bad side of one Bianca Belair, and he how do I say this nicely? Family show type stuff. He figured out the FA, and she presented the FO. So
Yeah, that was a pretty nice moment. I liked it. I liked the match. I thought the match was good.
it was.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Of course, after that, we come back from commercial and get to hear, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And I'm happy anytime Paul Heyman makes his way to the ring because the man is just, there's nothing he can't do except wrestle.
I've seen that happen once or twice, and it's not pretty.
That's what I said. There's nothing in wrestling that man can't do except wrestle. They, of course, talk about the Royal Rumble a little bit, and then they hit the explosion, and down comes the canvas, and the OTC, your tribal chief, is on the cover of 2K5.
Did you see the size of that banner?
I did. Like, Mandy asked me, Mama Guapo, she asked me, when this is all said and done, when it's getting close to 2026, what the hell are they going to do with that?
It's going to be rolled up,
And
and it's going to be put in a warehouse, and it's going to be forgotten about, just like everything else that the WWE has in that big warehouse in Stamford, Connecticut.
I would like to, a place that I would like to visit at some point in my life.
They'll cut it up into little squares and sell plaques.
I mean, that's possible too.
That wouldn't be a bad idea because I'm sure that they can make their money back because that thing had to have cost a couple of grand
Oh,
at least.
At least. So Drew comes out I love Drew McIntyre.
Drew is great.
He's great. He comes out and tells Paul, "Calm down. Why are you so jumpy? I need you to do me a favor. Go tell your boy that when I get to the Rumble, I'm gonna throw his ass out." And he says, "I will go tell Roman Reigns that exactly." So I wasn't talking about Roman Reigns. I was talking about CM Punk, which got a huge pop from the crowd.
Yeah.
I was like, "You're on the game. You're on the cover
thought-
of the game."
I thought
Okay.
they missed a great opportunity for Drew. If he'd have had the sword with him, he could have cut up the banner.
I said the exact same thing to Mandy. That's what caused that whole conversation.
Okay. What about the fact that Paul Heyman stood up for himself?
Very true.
You are crowding me.
The look on Drew's face. Oh.
I honestly thought whenever that happened, we were actually going to get Roman to come out there and do something at that point and get physical, because of the fact that Paul Heyman doesn't do that.
No.
Paul Heyman doesn't stand up for himself. The last time he said it, he tried to stand up for himself, he got put through a table by Jacob Fatu.
Yes, he did. But yeah, that him saying, "You're crowding me," and Drew like, "Oh, well, excuse me, let me give you some room." It played well. I enjoyed that.
I really did expect when he passed him and Drew was like, "I'm not done." I really did think maybe he was going to get a Claymore.
Oh no.
I'm so glad that he didn't.
That would have been ugly.
I don't know that Paul could sell a Claymore right.
Bowling shoe
Hey.
ugly.
Well, look, he sold a table great.
True.
I mean, I'm not saying he's the best at that stuff. I mean, his matches with Jim Cornette made Jim Cornette look like Luthez. So, I mean,
I've never thought about it quite like that, but yeah. I like it. Drew was out there, of course, not just to not crowd Paul Heyman, but because his match was next against Sami Zayn, and it was a good match. I like Sami Zayn took 3 steps and his nose was bleeding. I don't know how that happened, but like it was crazy. Blood everywhere, it's cool to see somebody like Sami Zayn like realize he's bleeding, and then the announce team can be like, there's something about when he sees his own blood that fires him up, and then they can play off of it, and it's cool. But I'm picturing Sammy going, "What the hell?"
where were
I'm
they? Where were they at? Where were they at?
Were they in Austin? I believe they were in Austin.
Maybe it was just very dry there that day, and he maybe has some kind of deviated septum, and he just started bleeding.
That was a cut right there on the
He
tip
had a
of his nose.
What happened
Tom.
was Drew probably forgot to do the main thing that you're supposed to do whenever you get in the ring, and that's cut your fingernails. And he probably went to reach for Sami Zayn's face and ended up cutting his nose.
Sliced him open. Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Got Daddy Boss 74. Will there be a watch along Saturday for the Royal Rumble? Yes, there will. We will be live right here doing a watch along for the Royal Rumble this Saturday night. So I hope everybody's going to be there for it. I'm going to be there.
I'm going to be there.
We're going to be there.
My mom and I will be at TJ's.
Well, you should tell TJ to set up the computer.
Oh, we will. Oh, we will. We will. We'll be in the chat.
We're gonna make Rick's whole night right now, because talking about the Royal Rumble, Penta is in the Royal Rumble. I'm happy about it.
I like Penta.
Yeah, I dig it. Let's talk for a second about, you had the Sammy Drew match. Cody comes out because Drew's about to go all Drew McIntyre. And Cody comes out, and there's the back and forth, and Sammy's going to get Drew because you saw what happened last week. Damn that Drew McIntyre. I'm going to kick him right in the head. Oh, I missed and kicked Cody. Oopsie.
When is it enough? How many times does he have to do this? How many weeks in a row does he have to do this to where he accidentally kicks somebody in the face before somebody goes, Sammy, you are not allowed to do that anymore while I'm in the ring, fool.
Sammy needs an at guy. As soon as he gets back there to do the kicks, he needs somebody to go, "Ah." That's what he needs. Well, we end up with Cody talking to his hometown crowd, not in like out of breath, tired, not in the position he thought he would be in to talk to a Georgia crowd. And out comes Punk. And Punk says, look, man, you're going down a road I've been on. Are you okay? Like personally, are you okay? And we started to get the not, I don't want to say not baby face because he's still face as hell, but the not, gung ho Cody Rhodes. We got the, oh, you're my friend. Well, tell me friend. It was a very not happy conversation on Cody Rhodes' end.
He did a very good weary champion. He was selling the fact that he got his head kicked off by Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm.
So he was it felt like he had a little bit of loopy in him, and it kind of worked out for him.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing about it was how fired up Cody got when he said, we were in NXT together. Like, first off, he's throwing history out there, and I love it.
It was OVW.
Yeah, we were in OVW together. And then you got the call up, and we were all happy for you. And then I got up there too, and I was chasing you. And then you got the title, and here I come, and I was chasing you. And just over and over, I was chasing you. But see, our dynamic has changed now because now you are chasing me. And everybody's like, ooh. Like, adding that little bit of reality to it just put that promo over the top. I think that was some of the best promo work I've seen in a while.
It was really, really good. That's kind of something that WWE has been on a real tear lately. Is that, man, they've showcased a lot of people's promo skills that people probably didn't know that they had. Mm-hmm. And they keep throwing potential Mania matches out there. And it seems like every show we get a new favorite match. And, there's like 19 different matches that they've teased over the last 3 weeks, and there's only 2 belts. So You're not going to get all of them. You're just not. I know it's only 2 nights. I mean, I know it's 2 nights. So technically, each champion could defend their title twice. I don't think they will. But, I mean, I don't know. There's so many matches out there. I don't know where they're going.
And that's the beauty of WWE television right now, is you don't know where they're going. They have you. They've got me to the point now where every time there's a backstage segment, I'm looking at everything. I'm like, did somebody just walk out of that door over there? Like, I'm looking for things now. And Pavlov would be proud. Like, Triple H has got us to that point now where it's like, okay,
ring the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell. It's time for dinner. Yeah. That is our segment for main roster moments.
Can I add one more thing?
Sure.
We kind of, there was something on Saturday that we kind of just didn't really go through. But I want to talk about the fact that Jacob Fatu killed Braun Strowman.
Yes. Yeah, Braun Strowman won the match because Jacob Fatu was disqualified, but Braun Strowman did not win that match.
No.
I think as far as it goes with Jacob Fatu, I think Bully Ray or Bubba Ray, whatever you want to call him, I think he put it best on his podcast when he said they've taken the leash off and now he commands the spotlight. The spotlight finds him because that's his presence. And I think that's absolutely on point.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night's main event was a really good show. It had a lot of really solid matches. They did some really solid angles. They built to some good stuff for the Rumble. But I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'll die on this hill. I will absolutely die on this hill. As good as Saturday was for WWE, the moment of the weekend belonged to AEW. Because the Tony Storm angle on Collision was the best angle in the history of that company.
You know, I'm
It
glad you
was
said something about that.
Phenomenal.
I'm glad you.
Phenomenal angle.
That will actually take us in to Notes from the Clown Show. And that is actually on my list of things that the Tony Storm angle was absolutely great. You got a video?
It was.
I don't.
Has Mike not seen it?
Huh?
Did you see it, Mike?
No, I did not see
Okay,
it.
well, let me run you through it because I've seen it 100. I've watched it like 100 times. This was so good because Timeless Tony Storm was one of the best characters that they've created. Okay, then they took her away when Mariah May turned heel, and she's been off TV. But then about a month ago, she returned at Winter is Coming as the old Tony Storm.
Right.
And everybody thought, okay, so she's either got amnesia or Timeless Tony Storm was a mental problem and now it's over. But here we are, traditional Tony Storm. And the crowd's behind her. They like it. But there's still people that want Timeless Tony Storm back. So they build to this match with Mariah May in Australia. And Tony Storm wants to be her friend, and Mariah May doesn't want to be her friend. And Mariah May attacks her, beats her down in the ring with the belt, leaves the ring, and suddenly you hear on the microphone the accent changes, the cadence changes, and she says, "What makes you think I've forgotten?" And the place erupts.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "What makes you think our dance is done?" And she takes off her jacket. She stands up. She says, "Every scar, every drop of blood, I will remember forever. But now is my time in the sun." And she takes off her top, and she's got the Timeless Tony Storm top. And she says, "They say the hardest role you'll ever play is yourself." And then she takes off her bottoms and she's got the fishnets on. She kicks them off and she says, "And what you've just seen is the performance of a lifetime," and drags her makeup down her face, turns around and says, "Mariah May, you may be the woman from hell, but you came from my womb, and I will shove you back up in there and spit you out because I am timeless, timeless, timeless Tony Storm, and I'm going to rip your tits off." And the crowd goes bananas. It was the best angle I have ever seen in that company because they had everybody fooled. And it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
And like I agree with you. It was the best thing AEW has done to date. And to keep it going, you know,
Oh,
I can see they're backstage going, "Okay, we've got this cool thing we just did. So here's the other thing we're going to do. Like, we've got the Express here, right?
yeah.
They're here. So let's honor them. And then, hear me out, we'll let Moxley kidnap them."
And will not follow up on Tony Storm and Mariah May at all.
Yeah. Well, what?
Oh my God. One giant leap forward and 18,000 steps back.
I'm saying. And then I found something else. I've got to bring it up here. I saved it on my phone. Stop me when I say something that sounds familiar to you. Says during an interview, the Death Riders explained what the storyline and what they are trying to accomplish. Claudio had this to say: "We're not here to kill AEW. We're not here to destroy AEW. It's quite the opposite. We're here to fix AEW. We're here to bring out the best in every single person that we step in the ring with, to get rid of what doesn't need to be here, to lay the beautiful foundation for the future. Will that take days? No. Will that take weeks? No. It will probably take however long it needs to take. This will be our greatest work and it will last forever." John Moxley added, "Or maybe everyone can just stop asking questions, trust in us, and enjoy the damn ride."
Yeah, enjoy the ride.
Sounds a whole lot like The Rock.
Do you know why people question things? Because they're not enjoying the ride, John.
Yes, that's very true.
That's why.
They are not enjoying the ride at all.
I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody's enjoying the ride.
John Moxley. I can't. This is, and do you know why things like, you know why you get, let's quote The Rock, it's quote along with the champ, and you get, the bipolarness of we're going to kidnap the Express and then Tony Storm's whole thing on this side, because Tony Khan is a clown.
You don't say.
And this is notes from the clown.
I noticed that all the praise that came down online over the 24 hours after the Tony Storm angle, all the praise that came down, Tony Khan felt the need to tweet out that he was a part of that creative process. But then after Dynamite gave another gigantically low rating for last night's show, and NXT was over 200,000 viewers better than Dynamite, I show that Tony Khan sent no tweet.
Yeah, would you?
Well, I mean, if you're going to be consistent, tell everybody you're part of the process, even when it's bad.
Did you like this? I was part of that. You didn't like this? That wasn't me. I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, that's not me.
All right. So now that we've got through all of that, it's time to talk Royal Rumble. This Saturday night, of course, as I mentioned earlier, we will be having a watch along live right here. So queue up. What is it? It's going to be on Peacock?
Yes.
So queue up Peacock, watch the Royal Rumble, and have your phone or your computer up, because we're going to be talking about it through the whole show. Let's get some predictions in. In the Men's Royal Rumble, these are the people who are announced: LA Knight, John Cena, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio Jr., Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul, Penta, Chad Gable, Braun Breaker, and Carmelo Hayes. That is 15 of the 30 entrants into the Men's Royal Rumble.
The beautiful thing about that list is at least 8 of them, if not 9, I could absolutely see the argument for winning.
Yeah. But
And that's crazy. That's crazy to me that we're at a place where that many names have a plausible path to a main event at Mania, and you can actually look at it and go, I can totally see that.
Oh yeah. And that's what I'm loving about this, because you haven't had this much excitement in a Royal Rumble for a Royal Rumble match since what, 92?
I think 92. I still say 92 is the best Rumble of all. You're hard pressed to tell me that there's ever been a better Rumble than 1992.
Well, at least we know for sure that this Royal Rumble is not going to have them sweeten the crowd on tape because they're booing Hulk Hogan out of the building.
Okay. So
That's true. That's true.
Let's start with this in the Men's Rumble. We'll start with you, Mike. First 2 people in the ring, who's it going to be? Who are we starting with?
LA Knight and Tama Tonga.
Okay. Rick, first two people in. Who you got?
Logan Paul and John Cena.
Okay, definitely see that. I've gone back and forth on this on what I want to see. My first thought was I want to see Seth and Drew be the first two. And number 3 needs to be a member of the bloodline. So that those two start working together. You know, they hate each other, but they hate him more. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. That kind of thing. And then I got to thinking about it. You've got the perfect setup here. Now we've had a couple of matches, so now it's time. Start the show off, and this is my prediction. Start the show off with Rey Mysterio Jr. and Penta, and let them lucha the shit out of it for 2 minutes. Mm-hmm.
I'd be about it.
That's my prediction as we start off with Rey and Penta. So, that being said, who's number 30?
Cena.
Rick?
Drew McIntyre.
I honestly feel like I'm kind of back and forth because Cena makes a lot of sense. But I've heard a whole lot of people saying put Roman in last, which I think is a bad move, personally.
No. We do not want that. Would bring instant heat upon Roman Reigns. And we don't want that. We realize that Roman is part-time.
Mm-hmm.
But if he comes in at, I don't know, say 25, it would be okay. But doing the 30, then you get to the point where it was like Brock a few years ago, whenever it comes out and you're like, oh my God, really? This is crap.
Well, my pick for number 30 is somebody who has not been announced for the Royal Rumble yet. I feel like as the clock counts down to 0, we start hearing voices in our head. I think Randy Orton is going to come out as number 30.
It's possible. I'm starting to think Randy Orton may not even show up at the Rumble. Just because it's so packed. And we've got TNA people that are going to be announced. We've got NXT people. We might have a couple of legends. I just think it's so packed. Randy Orton coming back at any time is going to be big. But coming back in the Rumble when there's so many other elements to pop for, I feel like it's going to be like when he came back at Survivor Series. He didn't have a chance to even really resonate before Punk's music hit.
Well, and let me poke a hole in that. He comes out at number 30. People get thrown out, and you come to that moment where it's him and Cena face to face in the ring. I'm just saying.
I mean, it's a good moment. I mean, it is. It's a good moment. I don't know.
Here's the kicker.
I don't know if they need Orton at this point.
They did the pile driver angle to get Randy Orton off television for a little while because his neck was really hurt.
Okay.
So
that's fair. I mean, I don't know that.
Honestly, I don't believe he's cleared to wrestle.
I'm going to stick with it. I think number 30 is going to be Randy Orton.
Now, and even if he is cleared to wrestle, I mean, does it make sense for him to come back in the Rumble, or does it make more sense for him to come back in the Cody Kevin match?
Oh, that happened. He's not going to. I don't think he interferes in that. I think that whole thing takes a turn later on. But our next question: Who do you think surprise entrants are going to be? And where do you put them?
really and truly, I don't know. Because, I mean, you've got the TNA guys.
100% we get Joe Hendry.
Oh, yeah.
And I would put him in somewhere between 12 and 15.
I say we get Dolph Ziggler.
So I'm glad you said that. He is on my list as well. And I'm going to tell you why he's on my list. For one moment, I don't care if he gets thrown out immediately after. I need him and Seth to get face to face. I need Nick Nemeth and Seth Rollins to be face to face because if you'll recall, Seth Rollins telling him, you shouldn't be here. You're not good enough. Like I need that reconciliation.
I don't see Nemeth being a part of it at all. I think that he's one of the anomalies of the TNA deal that I think it's confusing to people and I think it's counterproductive to the partnership for him to be Nick Nemeth in one promotion and Dolph Ziggler in the other. I feel like that's a bridge too far. I don't think we see him at all.
Okay.
Here's another one I was thinking. Alberto Del Rio.
Ugh.
Alberto Del Rio in a minute.
Apparently, this is I have not had documentation on facts or anything else, but hearsay is he has a Legends contract.
Okay.
And so does his announcer.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, Ricardo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's a possibility.
that's definitely interesting, but man, that dude's got a lot of baggage. Oh, he's got a lot of baggage.
Do you think we get a whoop that trick chant at the Rumble this year?
Yes.
If you're talking about when you say surprises, if you're including that in like NXT and TNA Legends, all that stuff, like non-main roster people, if those are
non-main
considered
roster
surprises, I think Hendry is a lock. I think Moose. I think Oba. I think Trick. I don't know how we do the TNA thing with WWE and we don't get Santino Marella at some point.
I'm glad you bring this up. I've told you this more than once, and I'm going to put this in the universe because I need it to happen. I need a backstage segment where I don't care what's going on. Santino Marella can be talking to
I know what you're going to say.
Nick Aldis. I don't care. There needs to be a meeting or something going on, and Santino Marella to be there, and John Cena to show up, and him to say, "This is a private meeting, John Cena." If I don't get a John Cena in this Cinderella run, I'm gonna be pissed. Like I need it one more time. You got a big mouth, John Cena.
You know who I'd like to see? I don't think we will see it, but with the TNA deal, it makes a lot more sense now. I would love to see Abyss.
Yes.
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 Because
Agreed.
he's a backstage agent.
That would be cool,
And
actually.
that would be amazing.
So
I agree.
some big names out there. I think we get a record broken, and I don't mean the attendance record that gets broken at every PLE. But I think we get a record broken by one Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, for the number of people thrown out of the ring.
Is the record 11?
I believe the record is 11.
I think it's Kane, right?
Right.
No, Roman.
Oh, that's right. Roman beat him.
Roman has 12.
Oh, it's 12. Okay. I could see Jacob Fatu beating the record.
I think so.
I think he comes in at number 4 and starts wrecking house, and Roman has to take him out later on.
See, I'd give him more like 7 or 8. That way you can get some fodder for the cannon. Because you got to have some people to throw out. And I think it should be like a Chad Gable and a Carmelo Hayes and I don't know if he could throw out Obafemi.
I say I don't know if the record will be beat for the quickest in and out because
also Santino Morales.
because that's really fast. But I say Chad Gable gives it the run for the money.
Okay, you think he's in and out, huh?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Gable would be a good quick one.
So let's go ahead and look at the women's Royal Rumble. Now, not quite as big a card of announcements as we have in the men's, which leaves lots of room. The people who have announced so far: Nia Jax, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Naomi, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Lyra Valkyria, Ivy Nile, and Io Sky. So that's 10 of 30.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we may get a legend or two. I could absolutely see Victoria because I still feel that Victoria is going to be put in the Hall of Fame. I could see Mickie James because hubby's the boss.
Yes.
Miss Jackie has a Legends deal too.
True.
Trish could always come back.
After we get done with this, I have something that you may or may not know.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna learn some things. So same questions here. Who do you think your first two are?
Naomi is going to be one of the first.
Okay.
I don't know who is going to be in with Naomi. It could be anybody at this point, but at some point, I do believe Jade Cargill's coming back in this.
Oh, 100% Jade Cargill's back at the Rumble.
And it's going to be a confronting Naomi because Naomi's the one that did the deal.
Or maybe Naomi and Bianca.
I think that we're going to find out whether or not Naomi or Bianca did it by their reactions when Jade comes out. I think if both Bianca and Naomi are in there working together and Jade's music hits and they look at each other with shock and worry, they 100% teamed up to get rid of her.
Not going to happen, but I'm just going to throw it out there. If it comes to light that it was Nia Jax, I'm going to pop. I'm just letting you know that.
Number 1 and 2 for me, if they wanted to make the biggest impact they could possibly make and get everybody buzzing, number 1 and 2 would be Charlotte and Becky.
See, I think they go a different route because I think that's what everybody's expecting is the first two being main eventers. I don't think we get that. After watching Raw Monday, I would like to see the first two be Lyra Valkyria and Ivy Nile.
Okay.
Like kick that feud into high gear. So that's who I'd like. And who do you have coming in at number 30?
Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Yeah, if she's not early, I think she's an easy 30. But I think the biggest reaction for number 30 heat wise would be Nia Jax.
See that? I think, and I've caught some argument on this. I think we're being swerved personally, and I think number 30 is Alexa Bliss. I know all the information's coming out. She's her comeback has been just put aside indefinitely because they're having contract issues, and they want her to be on her contract she was before she had the baby, and she wants a different. When have you ever known them to go that deep into talking about contracts? Never. Not never. So I feel like they're swerving us, and we're going to get Alexa Bliss, and she's going to be number 30. And now we get the big question out of both of them. Men's Royal Rumble. Who wins?
Roman.
Okay, we got Roman. A very popular answer out there in the world.
I'm sticking with Cena.
Okay.
Because I honestly I believe in the plan that's in my head and I can't let go of it. So I'm gonna say Cena.
I too am going to say Cena just because I think it's going to be Cena Gunther at Mania.
Me too.
Like, I think that's what we get, and I think this is how we get there.
Yeah.
Women's Royal Rumble. Who wins?
Becky.
Io Sky.
Damn, y'all just came with it. Okay.
I think it's Io Sky, and I think she chooses Rhea
Be a good match.
because it's a match. It's a match for Mania that we've never seen.
Of course, everybody I hear talk about it says it's going to be Charlotte. Charlotte's going to win the match. And she's going after Rhea. I
She
don't
could
think
go
so.
after Tiffany.
I think we get Jade Cargill. I think Jade Cargill wins the Rumble.
If she wins the Rumble, then they have to be supremely confident in her ability to carry a Mania match.
That's very true. That's very true. All I know is I'm excited for Saturday. The Royal Rumble is going to be insane, and there's 30 different directions they could go. I'll throw my one big prediction out there. One person that won't be in the Rumble is the Gobbledygooker or the Hand. None of the above in the Rumble. No.
Let's throw Jim Cornette into that pile too.
Yeah, Jim Cornette not in the Rumble. One of the things that's been asked to me, so I'll ask you guys, do we get a Hardy in the Rumble?
I don't know. I don't know if we get the Hardys at the Rumble. I mean, it's absolutely possible, but I don't
The
know.
pop would be insane.
It would be a great pop, but I don't think we get the Hardys at the Rumble. I'm 145% sure we get them at Mania. But I think it starts out, their appearances on WWE television start out with, I don't remember what the show is going to be, but they're going to show up on NXT to go against Paxi.
I think they're going to be at Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day, thank you. And here's the thing about that. If you watched NXT, they had, at the end, they had, the old school bars of, color bars of, like if the channel went off the air, and you heard typing. And that's very reminiscent of Matt Hardy's old music. And it typed out Vengeance Day.
Once that episode of NXT hit the vault, they took that out.
Did they?
Yeah, it's not there.
It was only live?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay, then. Yeah, it's very, very reminiscent of Matt Hardy's old music. So it makes me think we get them and Paxium.
It's possible.
Either way, it's going to be good. J-Reb saying, I'm looking forward to watch it with you guys. Dude, we're looking forward to having you with us while we watch it. It's going to be a good time. I do want to remind everybody, we're going to be live. We're going to be watching. We're going to be talking about the whole thing. So make sure you join us Saturday night. We'll get started probably somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes before the show starts. Just so we can kind of talk about things and get ready to go. And I hope to see everybody there. I do want to thank you guys for being here for the show. Like it's been a crazy day. So I wasn't sure if I was doing this solo or who was going to be here. So I appreciate the both of you being on the show with me. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to Eska. Thank you to Daddy Boss. Thank you to J-Reb. I'd say thank you to Mikey, but I just did. So I don't have to do that again. Thank you to Patrick for keeping it going. If you're watching this or listening to this after the fact, make sure you go click all the things, the likes, the shares, the subscribes, the thumbs up, all the things. Click all the things on all the platforms. I guess that's going to do it for us tonight. You guys ready for the Rumble?
Oh, I was born ready and just got bigger.
Yeah,
Well,
very much so. Rumble has always been my favorite pay-per-view, even more than Mania. I love the Rumble. This I'm very much looking forward to this.
as am I, and I'm looking forward to having you here to watch it, seeing everybody in the chat. It's going to be a good time. What can I say? And with that, we'll go ahead and close out for the night. I'm Guapo.
I'm Mike Caldwell.
That is Mike Caldwell. Over there is Rick Elsey, and we're not your average marks. We will see you guys on Saturday for the Rumble. Yeah.
I'm good with drowning now.